Playing with rockets is great when you're a kid. But when it's time to get a mortgage, you quickly realize that a rocket is complicated and expensive. It's best to work with an independent mortgage broker instead. They're dedicated to getting you a home loan faster and more affordably. And they're more than just mortgage experts. They live right in your own neighborhood, so you don't have to go it alone. For mortgages that are faster, easier, and more affordable, find a local independent mortgage broker near you.
Hello, I'm Jayson Bates, owner of Electrum Financial, where a mortgage is not just a flip of a coin. So if you're looking to refinance or purchase a home in the state of Arizona, I certainly would love the opportunity to earn your business. Don't forget to subscribe. I think I'm going to take that off. If you're on YouTube, you know what you need to do. Hit that like button. Also, if you're watching this on Roku or on Amazon Fire, please write that or hit that 5-star review. Tell your friends and family. Download the channel. Prem TV is the name of the channel or the application on those streaming devices. Check it out. Okay, so I want to dive into today's subject, and I haven't done a video in a while. It's been a kind of a crazy time, wouldn't you say, with the election and all the turmoil that's going on in our country. It's been kind of stressful, I got to be honest with you. But I want to talk to you because I've been watching a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube videos that are talking about this housing bubble. And I'm seeing a lot of reporters, if you can even call them reporters, reporting that the affordability of housing is just, it's hit a wall. It's not going to go anywhere. House prices are definitely going to bust, and we're going to be in for a housing crisis. I'm going to do the math here with you, and you're going to determine whether you think there's going to be a housing crisis. Now, we already know that rates are going to stay low for the next year, at least, maybe even through 2022. So maybe even 2 years, they're going to stay low. That is part of the solution here, because I want to let me just bring this up here, and we're going to go through the math together so that I can show you exactly what we're talking about here. So, all right. So, I'm going to hit affordability. So on this chart here, this is when we talk about affordability and housing affordability, we got to talk about income, right? So we look at this chart here. This chart here shows us that right now, average weekly earnings. I'm not talking about hours or anything like that. I'm talking about just average weekly earnings in the United States. Now, this may vary depending on the area that you live in, but average is $1,029 last year. And I'll show you here on the next chart, which is the numbers to the chart that I just showed you on the previous slide there. Today, $1,029.38. Last year, $972. So we've seen a 5.9% increase in weekly earnings. So 5.9% weekly earnings increase, which is good. This is one of the reasons why we're seeing such a demand for housing. We're seeing a lot of people, even though you hear on the news and all the pundits are saying, hey, everybody's being furloughed and there's so many people out of work. And yes, that is true. There are a lot of people out of work, and that is not good. We don't want that. However, there are a lot of people that are still working, and those people that are still working have seen an increase in their wages. So we can't forget about that. So the next slide here that I want to show you is the affordability index. This is the affordability index, and I got some, if we look at 2019, which is the latest data here that we have, but it goes all the way back to 2000, and 100, and I'll show you here in the next slide, is that is the number at which this chart is based on, that if you made just enough, you could afford the median home price in your particular area, which I believe right now is $281,000 nationwide. So if you made 100, or you were at 100%, then you could just barely afford that home. Okay, so we like to see this number well above 100. The higher this number is above 100, the better and more affordable, according to this chart here, according to the index, housing is. And I'll show you that here on this next slide here. So let me pull up. I can't read this here on my computer, so I'm going to pull it up here, but I highlighted it here in yellow. 3 main factors can affect power of house buying consumers: income, house prices, and mortgage rates. When incomes increase, consumer power also increases. The median household income in the United States has exceeded $60,000 US dollars for 3 consecutive years since 2016. Some of the highest incomes recorded in recent years, with mortgage rates or house prices on the rise. With mortgage rates or house prices rise, housing affordability reduces. The sales price of existing single-family homes in the United States has increased year over year since 2011 and reached $261,700 in 2018. Now in green here, this kind of also tells you about that chart, which I just kind of read to you already. I'll just read the second sentence here. It says an index value of 100 means that the family has exactly enough income to qualify for a mortgage on a home. The higher the index value, the more affordable a house is to a family. Okay, so that kind of explains that chart. So we've seen an increase in income. That's one of the three factors. We see low rates, right? That's one of the factors that also contribute to that. And then we got house prices. So house prices is what everybody's focused on, because these prices, everybody's like, where's the roof on this ceiling on these house prices? They've got to come down, which is why we're seeing all these YouTubers that are out there who know nothing about mortgages, know nothing about real estate, and they're saying there's going to be a bubble. It's going to bust, and they're trying to talk you out of purchasing a home. Not so fast. Not so fast. Okay, so let's get into the actual myth here a little bit. So mortgage payment, just to keep the math simple, we're going to say a mortgage payment is $1,000 a month. Now, in order to qualify for that $1,000 a month, you need to make $5,000 a month. Let's just say, just to keep the math simple here, let's just keep it simple, right? So 5% rise in price. My phone is going off there. 5% increase in price would mean that the same home you would need, that payment would then be $1,050 for that same home as far as a mortgage payment goes, with a 5% increase in 5% rise in price. Now we've seen 15, 20, 25% increase in price, but I'm just trying to keep the math simple here. On an average, 5% rise in price. So what income would you need then to qualify for that same home? If 100 is the bare minimum and 5,000 we've established is enough to qualify, what income would you need to qualify? Well, you would need a $5,050 increase in income. So a 1% increase in your income, and you then would qualify for that same home. Okay, so that kind of does that. Now let's get right into the nitty gritty here about the actual math and how it works. So follow along with me here. This is super important, and I think you'll be surprised here on this. So home prices, if we just keep the math simple, $350,000, assuming a 7% appreciation. Last year for that same home, you would have paid $327,100. Today, you're paying $350,000. That's a $22,000 difference in change, right? So last year, if we talk about mortgage rates, right? So we talked about price there. It's one of the three factors. Talk about rate here. So the rate last year, 3.75% was the average rate. Today, 2.75 is the average rate. Now I can get you a better rate than that, so don't tell anybody. Reach out to me, call me, love to help you out. But today, 2.75 average going interest rate, 30-year fixed. That's a difference of 1%. Loan amount, 10%. Let's just say you put 10% down on the home, so 90% loan to value. Last year, you would have financed $294,400. Today, you'd finance $315,000. It's a $20,000 difference. This is where people say, well, wait a minute, I'm going to pay more for the home. That's not affordable, right? So you following me here? Keeping up with me here? Hopefully you are. If you're not, rewind the video and hopefully, or reach out to me. I'd love to explain this to you in person. All right, so monthly principal and interest on that 30-year fix. Last year, you would have paid $1,363 for that mortgage. This year, at 2.75, even though you're financing more, you will pay $1,286. The difference of $77 savings. So we're talking about affordability, right? Then if we look at the mortgage insurance, people may say, well, wait a minute, you're financing more, therefore the mortgage insurance must be higher, therefore, you're going to pay more, right? Not true here. So last year, on that same $294,400, you would pay $113 a month. This year, $121 a month. Now, this is assuming some variables here or whatever, but everything being equal, this is how the math works out. That's a difference of $8. So you would pay $8 more today by financing more than what you would have paid last year. So your total principal, interest, and mortgage insurance, $1,476. Last year, today, $1,407. That's a $69 savings this year over last year. Down payment. Down payment, somebody say, well, I got to put more down. I can't afford to put more money down. right? So let's compare the due down payments. Last year, $32,700. This year, $35,000. It's a difference of $2,290. That is not that big of a difference. It's not as much as you may think when you look at the different prices. So when we look at the income and the increase in the income, right? So now we got the third factor in here. We've got a monthly income increase of 5.9% year over year. So last year, you would have made $5,000. This year, you would have made you with a 5.9% increase in your pay, $5,295. That's a positive savings of $295 a month, extra income, and you're paying $69 less than what you would have paid last year. This is why we are seeing such, I think that's my last slide here, yes. So this is why we're seeing such a demand in the housing and why it's been such a bright spot in our economy, and will continue to be for the next year. Now, right now, today is the day to get into housing. I know that you may feel like you're getting outbid and you're getting frustrated, but you got to get a good realtor. So reach out to me if you're in the state of Arizona. I'd love to hook you up with some of the best realtors in the valley, because now is the time to purchase, in my opinion. Last year, we can make the argument, rates were higher, now they're lower. We're at historic lows for interest rates. Rates aren't going to really go any lower. May go a smidgen lower here and there. That's fine. They may go a little bit, but they're not going to go a full percentage point lower. That's not going to happen. We're not going to see 30-year fixed rates in the ones. In my opinion, we're just not going to see that. So we're at our historic lows as far as interest rates. So affordability is not an all-time high. We're the 7th. If you look at that past chart, it's actually the 7th all-time high for affordability when you look at these numbers. So I think it's very surprising. This is why you're seeing such demand. I think it will continue because I think interest rates will stay low for the next couple of years. And I think it's a great time to purchase. And if you're looking to sell, it's also a great time to sell. As you know, inventory is very, very low. So now is a good time to sell as well. So just hopefully that sheds some light on the affordability issue that you may question or whatever. Reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about this subject even more. Write your comments below. Love to hear what your thoughts are on about affordability in the United States and housing. So until next time, that was my